Hi everyone. So this will be the Aries season light language transmission to help us through this time of fire and passion and the spring equinox that we've moved into here in the northern hemisphere and the fall autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. So my intention is that anything that is for our highest good will come through these light language codes and messages. So I hope you enjoy and we'll see how we go. Namoko shimoko aya noko di tu akatoko da. I bokodo shi bokodo I da otoko do shimoko yakada uko no ma asha uko ushibo da. Hananiata ryoko do shibo ashado. So right off the bat, they're putting this huge flame in our hearts. And I'm seeing it as different colors for every one of us, whatever color we're needing that frequency of. So even if you feel into it, you can kind of tap into what color your flame is within your heart. Right now I'm seeing multiple colors, so I think that's just me connecting to everyone right now. But they're saying to allow this supportive, fiery energy to transmute and burn out the grief in our hearts that we've been really processing, the grief that may even be coming up from what is transpiring in the external, even the internal dialogue I'm hearing, internal framework of our DNA being regenerated, being purged. And I keep hearing it is safe to speak our truth, whatever that may be for you. And as we allow this flame to burn up and gravitate higher, I'm hearing, into our soul, into our human, and this integration of our passion, our connection to pleasure, whatever that may mean for you. It grounds our being, but it also kind of burns away the anxiety, the fear, the depression, the chaos internally that we may even be absorbing from the external, especially if you're very empathic, or just highly sensitive and aware. They're saying allow the flame to build and extend out into the aura, into our whole entire being, into our geographical location. Take up space, feel safe, practice this sense of empowerment from within. Ako shamaya niata ryokodo shiboko asha ani iki. Ananiokorra makadasha ukodania kariokododo ibokodasha ukodonia tata yakibokodoshi. This is also, they're saying, the transmutation of ancestral trauma, ancestral lineages of any kind, collective consciousness. Okotamashiti. Na 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 nia. Allowing us to step into our highest potential, the highest timeline, recognizing that any timeline we choose can happen within seconds, within milliseconds. Parallel timelines of Earth exist. Okashamaka yokomaka yokoma ayashikodo ibokadasha ukadabashi do akada ukadamani akari okodoma shi ukodo ikada, connecting to our identity in a healthy merging within the soul, they're saying. So the Aries energy holds our identity, our fire, our passion, our self-worth, I'm hearing as well. It can hold many other things, whatever it resonates for you, but these are the main characteristics they're bringing forward at this moment. And they're saying that a lot of the times within our identity, we can just say that it's ego and we can cover it up or deem it bad or wrong or not spiritual, they're even saying. So we're being invited to find an embrace where we're strong within our ego or our sense of identity, but it holds this space of our intention from our soul. It's a combination of both. So we're merging the human into the soul even deeper. And they're saying it's not selfish to have an identity or even allow that identity to change and be transmutable or flexible. It allows for expansion, it allows for healing, it allows for grounding. They're even saying grounding within our being, because they're saying in this way too, if we don't have some sense of identity, others will start to dictate it for us. We will take on what other people say is acceptable, and we will mold into what we feel is palatable. And that's not usually what our soul wants. It's not in our highest good, because we're conforming for others to feel comfortable or to not be uncomfortable within who we are outward expressing. So they're bringing back in boundaries so that we can have our own bubble of our frequency, our own identity of self, and even discerning what really is in alignment with our soul when it comes to our identity. Because it is true that sometimes we hold pieces of our identity in terms of trying to grasp for more self-worth, instead of already knowing our deservability is eminent within just our breath, within our being. Not within our actions or our appearance or any of that. And they're bringing this home, and this has been quite a theme for me, even personally, the past week or so, maybe even 2 weeks. We are in this world, we are not of this world. And that will help our identity to merge with our soul, instead of feeling this disconnect that we are in the world, yes, but we are not of the world. We are higher frequency of consciousness through our soul's eminence of being. Our frequency is coming into a higher state of consciousness that the world has not quite seen in quite some time. They're saying even in this way. So it's reminding us that we don't have to conform. We don't have to do anything that does not feel in alignment, even though there might be things we have to do, right? As being a human, we still have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do in order to survive, in order to keep the lights on, what have you. But they're saying in this way, we're creating that space that holds better for our own container, for our soul to feel more in alignment with the rest of the collective consciousness. Take that as you will. Akashamoku, shamakayakika. Uashanita raboshutu ashita. Ukodashita. Ibodamasha. Ukodoshibodo. We have a lot of elemental spirits with us right now, grounding our frequency. I see a lot of dragons, fairies, a lot of birds and butterflies, all different types of animals. You may even feel them more in your system, more on your team, that coming into the awareness. Kadama nanio dorato sho ukodama anania karato da iata ukodoto. I'm seeing these like it's almost like a solar flare, but it's this violet light that's almost coming down in pillars onto earth, into our beings, into our frequency. And it's this purification of violet flame, but also this deep transmutation and upgrade, they're saying. Take that as you will, as it resonates for you. Clear. they're saying in this way too that anything that pulls you out of alignment in terms of fear, even extreme happiness, they're saying anything that's polarizing us right now is also an invitation to find our center again. So it's not deeming one bad, good, or whatever, right? We're here to practice this centered state of being, this sovereignty, this peaceful state of consciousness through this human experience. A neutrality, if you will, so that we can witness, that we can transmute through just perceiving. That we can hear our discernment deeper, that we can connect more to our soul. So they're saying in this way that the polarities are created through, they're saying the media, through old past trauma coming back to be relived, future even maybe premonitions or even fear states of premonitions for the future, any of that. They're saying that this is the time of extreme expansion, so we're being opened up to all possibilities, but in order to continue on our highest path, to stay as neutral as we can, helps us step into that higher timeline that is in the most alignment for us. And it doesn't mean that we will be perfect. It doesn't mean that we will not make mistakes. We will, again, still be human through this time, but it is bringing in more peace as we discern through the next steps, through that next present moment. So they're also saying, a way of saying it is being present moment focused. Ukodasha, you can still feel it all. You can feel the contrast, you can feel the polarities, but is allowing yourself to know you are not your emotions, you are not your feelings. Those feelings are guideposts, indications of different frequency. So they're bringing back to the Aries energy of staying focused on the goal, staying focused in the alignment of our values, what that means for us. And in this way, it will help us find more pleasure, help us find more ease, more enjoyment within this experience, even with all of the chaos or the contrast. Asha ukumashita, ibokadasha ukudo, ibodashi niyaka ratoto, yakimasha ukadamaniata, ikadao shodo, ashamaniakita. For those of you that are feeling possibly overwhelmed, or the weight of the world on your shoulders, on your state of consciousness, the message that's coming through is to allow some of that weight, if you can, to melt away, knowing that you don't have to, we're not here to save the world all by ourselves and in a way that is for us to sacrifice things for ourselves in order to help the world be better. It is, again, about realigning to our highest timeline, our highest authenticity, embracing it all within ourselves, not deeming anything wrong or even good, but knowing that through finding our pleasure, through finding our authenticity, our sovereignty, that frequency emanates out. There is divine forces that are protecting humanity, even if it may not be apparent or seem like it is coming into play. Everything has a purpose, even the most tragedies. And it will not keep I hear in this way, it will not keep a dominant power for long. There is a shift, there is change happening, especially through those of us who are holding a higher frequency, holding neutrality, holding peace within ourselves, knowing that it will emanate out, that it is all frequency. It is quantum. Akashibokadi ibodashana niaka rakodo. Iadata rakiko dodo ashama yaniaka rokodo mashodo. Kodo, allow the grief to be felt if you are feeling grief, kodo, or grieving what's happening in the collective. Oko shamania tata. No kodo, it is transmuting through that feeling of allowing it to process through the system. Kodo, instead of being repressed or even just expanded and staying within that expansion of it, it allows it to be transmuted and shifted into different states of consciousness.